Hey guys, we meet again in the land of books and movies. This week I am clearing the air about some mostly movieless books by one particular book writer in general. And I have been subject to this same wisecrack about this one novelist. It is Danielle Steele. I'm telling you, every time someone saw me reading a Danielle Steele, the general consensus is that I'm reading housefrau porn. With titles like Season of Passion, that's not an unreasonable assumption, but this is not true. Danielle Steele writes contemporary and historical fictions, and the romantic elements in these stories are just the icing on the cake. And they are delicately written. There's no heaving alabaster breasts and throbbing tumescent cocks. Here's an example. He laid her ever so carefully on the bed and began to slowly undress her. He wasn't sure if she was too shy to let him see her, but she seemed to have no qualms or fears about what he was doing. And in a few moments, the dress lay carefully put aside on the room's only chair, and he slowly peeled away the delicate satin and lace underwear that she had made months before and brought with her. She took his breath away as he looked at her. She looked like a perfect porcelain doll as he gently began to kiss her. And as he did, with trembling fingers, she began to undress him. She had no idea what she was doing, nor what he expected of her. She just had some vague notion about making love with him from things her sister had said to her, but she was far less sophisticated and knowledgeable than her younger sister, who had always been much more interested in what transpired or was supposed to between the sexes. Instead, she came to him with her innocence and her love for him. And as he took her in his arms and began making love to her, she found passion and fulfillment that she had never even dreamed of. He was gentle and loving with her, and after he made love to her, he lay beside her on their bed and held her, tracing her exquisite form with a gentle finger. They talked for hours that night and made love once again, and it was even better this time. Sounds relatively innocent. All right. And by the way, this is my favorite historical fiction. Not just from Danielle Steele, but in general. I even sent her an email singing her praises for this book. And in a momentous fangirl moment for me, she wrote me back to thank me. So, across the board, Danielle Steele fiction. In Danielle Steele fiction, the story centers around mostly women who are seeking something. They have depth, they have curiosity and talent, and they see life as a quest. And they're usually surrounded by a bunch of negative Nellies and Debbie Downers, toxic family, friends, and spouses who are just the opposite and trying to snuff out their flame until they are confronted with unusual circumstances, or they meet a special someone who is on their wavelength and ready to light their fire and fan the flames. Loving and bittersweet are two good examples. In Echoes, it starts with the day our hero's parents meet, and then continues through her childhood and all the experiences that shape her, and in her adulthood as World War II is brewing. And she goes from being a nun to a concentration camp inmate to a freedom fighter and a spy. In Silent Honor, a Japanese girl is sent to live with cousins in San Francisco while she goes to college there, and it's during World War II. And then just as she's starting to really assimilate and make friends, Pearl Harbor happens, and she has to deal with all of the backlash from that towards from the public towards Japanese people and Japanese Americans, and she has to survive Executive Order 9066, which was concentration camps on American turf, while she was pregnant. So anyone who thinks that that kind of evil can't happen here in America because it's America, it has, and it can again. All right. Remembrance and Jewels are also historical fictions that progress into contemporary fictions and are real tearjerkers. I know Jewels was made into a movie, and I've been having such a hard time trying to find it. The only one I've seen a film adaptation of a Danielle Steele was Fine Things. And in this one, the central character is a man. And I saw it on Lifetime, which was the Hausfrau channel from the 80s and 90s. The contemporary fictions have back cover summaries that have a clickbaity element to them. And then I read them and find myself not understanding. It's all beautiful rich people completely blowing their stack over a lot of first world problems. Second Chance was a prime example of this. And sometimes I will get hooked on a story because I'm chomping at the bit to see the unjustly treated main character, find her spine and tell her antagonists to go bump a stump. And then it doesn't happen. So in some cases, I almost want to jump into the pages and bitch slap the protagonist. This was the case with Big Girl, Going Home, and Lone Eagle. There's also a couple of contemporaries that feature an intense story of survival from a DV situation. Malice and The Long Road Home, yes, I said that right, Long Road Home, are about someone surviving abuse from childhood. Journey and Matters of the Heart are about overcoming narcissistic abuse. And that is what I've read. That is my unpacking of Danielle Steele. And the ones I've mentioned are just a few that I've read. I do highly recommend them for the streamlined way they are written that does well to hold on to the reader's attention. And that is all. If you like this video and my channel, you know the drill. It all helps and means a lot. And I thank you for watching, and we'll see you next book and or movie.